Hello, I'm Stephen Orvis, and today I'm showing how Odoo could be used for help desk for a IT team in a school district. This is just an example use case running through some of the features that I think could be beneficial for that case. So I've already gone ahead and created a Odoo instance. I went to odoo.com, clicked try now, clicked the free app, and I picked help desk as a free app. Odoo actually will let you have as many users as you want for free as long as you use one app. If you use more than one app, they would charge you per user. But this is a great way to get started with this and try it out. And a company could theoretically use Odoo for free if they are just using one app. So the setup I did here, I went ahead and made a team. You notice on this is one of the default teams. So customer care at, and then the instance domain name, and IT at the instance domain name. And when I made the team, I went into configuration here, click new, and then I got to pick the team name and also an email alias, which is what you're seeing there. This could also be adjusted to a domain name if the instance was attached to a custom domain name. That could be done as well. You can, of course, also go into the record and edit it after the fact if you didn't get it right the first time. So this is basically how you set it up. There are some good features in here, such as SLA, where you can see how fast tickets are being worked, and then also allowing ticket closures for inactivity, things like that. So it has some features for management like that. But core essence, though, you can send an email into that and make a ticket. So I'm going to show I sent an email already. And so here is the response I got back. So I sent a ticket in, and then Odoo responded back with this: give me a ticket number, a view ticket button, and also that it came from the IT team. And I can go ahead and from the and I'm going to say customer, but it's end user's perspective. I'm going to see what they look like. So I'm going to open up private browsing mode. Since I'm logged into the instance as me here, I don't need private browsing just to see the customer experience without a login, what they would see. They click the link, and you can see that they have the initial one they sent in, they have the email message that they responded to the ticket with. I actually responded to that ticket, hit reply, and sent it. And so you can see that it had the additional information. Read more is it responded to the original ticket. So that's just a reply. And then I also did another time where I just typed in here, tried turning on and off, didn't work. So the customer has the ability to respond to the ticket and see what's going on. And the technician working the ticket can also, with an Odoo, respond back. Now here they don't have the option to close the ticket, but that was an option we saw in the setup that they could have been doing that as well. And so then if a user is like, hey, I submitted a ticket, and oh, never mind, I figured it out, I just need to plug it in, something like that, they can go in and just close the ticket themselves, and then you don't have to mess with that as a technician. All right, so one of the cool things that you can do is automations with Odoo. So by default, you have a Kanban view. This is going to be very similar to a lot of systems. Maybe use Trello or some other system, and you could have a Kanban view of the work you're doing. So that's pretty standard here. And you can see this ticket. This is now with an Odoo, the view that a technician would see. You see the customer who sent it in. It automatically made the customer record. When I clicked that, it created for them my email address and information about it. And you can also see the tickets. So if this one person always is asking the same thing, you can jump in and see what tickets are there associated with that person. So that's helpful too. If it's a repeat problem, you can just quickly go back for what was fixed on that person's history. There is a way in the team creation too. I could have scoped it down for who could have sent in these tickets. Right now, it's set up to anyone can see those create those tickets from the email, but you could also make it authenticated people. So basically, once the email address is in the system, so you might have an employee thinking school district use case, you might have a system for the employees, and maybe you have a system for students, and maybe students could be more randomized email addresses, and so you wouldn't have them all in. They could just go into the generic queue, and then you have the employees that would perhaps be a different queue, so you can also work that differently as well. Another neat thing you can do while I'm here, you have the website form, so that you can also go to the website and fill that out. That would get into another app, and then would be pay per user, not per usage. So the people submitting don't have to be a user, mainly just the people working the tickets, but it would be pay per user. You could then have a website. You can also do some neat things with the website, adding onto other apps. The Knowledge app is like a wiki. The e-learning is a whole other app that would allow you to do courses. So maybe part of this is teaching teachers how to turn a monitor on and off. Maybe there's a specific procedure or order they need to do. You can make that into a video course, and then when they have the questions, you can just send that back to them and as your reply to the ticket. So that has helped there. All right. So back to the team though. So we are in the IT team, the tickets view here. So you can move them through the stages. You can customize these stages to say whatever you want. You're not stuck with the stage names. You can just easily click add and for review, something like that, and you can just put it where you want it. And you can even make it folded by default. You can share it between teams. Right now it's scoped to the IT team, so there's it's only going to be on this team board, but you could add it to other teams too. One of the neat features now though is automations. So this is where Odoo shines past a lot of other tools, is you can write automations for actions when tickets come in. So right now it's in the in progress ticket. I could potentially make an automation that would tag the user based on their group. So let's go to the customer now and see if we have some sort of a group tag that we can attach to them. And so we can do tags here, and they are not an actual user. We potentially could make a portal user, and then that would allow them to be tagged to a group. But for now, we could just use a tag. So we're assume not a portal user and make it a tag. So we call this a teacher, and now we have a tag. And so on this this person record, now they're tagged as a teacher. So I can jump back to tickets, and I click new, edit. Nope, I wanted automations. New automations, and so this is another app. This will get into now a pay feature. If you're actually using this in the Odoo, but this has potential to save a lot of time in organizing tickets coming in. You could have different SLAs for different people. You could have different SLAs for different groups. Different boards even. You can move it to a special board if a certain person sent in a ticket, or even identifying tickets. You might have keywords that you're like, well, when this keyword comes in, probably we want to do such and such. You might even have a bot respond to certain items. Okay, so when stage is set to new, and then so now you can just add an action. So this would be a new one came in, add an action, and you can update values on that. So here it's touching the customer. You can change anything else on the ticket automatically when it comes in. But right now, so if we're going to do something interesting around the customer, so let's see. So it's stage is set to new. Instead, let's do custom on save, and we're going to match on. So customer, or that wouldn't be customer though. Let's see here. What's the user? Oh, it is customer. All right, so customer, and then we can drill down, and we can pick tags. Right there, so we can pick the tags. So tags is in, and then we just made that tag, so it's just one. So now I can say, hey, if this person, Odoo's calling them a customer, if this person sends in a ticket and they, as the user, already has the teacher tag, we can do something new with this. So then we can add an action here, we can update the record, and let's do the stage. So to just go and do a special stage, maybe we just want to ensure that teachers get a different look than perhaps the tech mentors. Maybe there's a different stage that we go to. So we have the 4 reviews. We want to look at the teacher ones before we actually run them through, make sure that it's not a problem that's already solved. So save and close, and just hit save. And so now when it comes in and it's a teacher, it's just going to automatically bump it to the 4 review stage. So I'm going to go back to the tickets view, and so it's in progress. I'm going to simulate sending a new one in by just dropping it back to new, dropped it back to new, and it should update the stage here. We may have to refresh for that to happen. All right, so we see it did. It just boom right over to review, and the automation was in place and made that move. Now you can do more than just what you have there through the UI. There's actually the ability to do Python as well. So you can come in here and execute code, and that will give the ability to write Python. This gets into the Odoo ORM and features within there, but that is there and super powerful for more advanced cases that can do a lot. But there's other actions here. You have the send email, send SMS. You can do a webhook, so you might want some other system to know when a ticket comes in or when a ticket's closed, perhaps. So those are also features that are potentially of use there. I think one of the areas where Odoo shines now is the filtering and grouping. So you can take here and say group by and then do a custom group and perhaps by last stage update. We could do last stage update, and so now you can have it grouped it by uh, uh, month, and so you can see by month now the updates that have happened. So this is a interesting way to see maybe old tickets that are lingering that you need to go clean up or whatever. So now that's just the Kanban view. There's also a list view. You can come in here and see a list of items. One of the neat things with Odoo, again back to standard features, it has a standard import and export. So I can just export these records and then open that up and then see what's there. And you can pick the fields that you would have. And so you now have this record is in an Excel file, and you could come in here, edit things, and re-upload it, and it would actually, depending upon what the settings are, create a new one or update the existing records. Just coming here and saying import records. So this could be also a way to transition tickets from one system to another system. You can just come here, export, import, and bring them right in after you map the fields. So that's a super handy way to do that as well. And I think that's one of the powers with Odoo is they're not locking you in saying that, hey, you can't have your data. It's your data. And even deeper than that with Odoo, you can go download the database from your customer portal. So you can also get a dump of that database and make queries off of the database itself if you have a more complex case. Maybe you need to export data differently, or you need to do some sort of system migration. So I clicked on the pivot table here in Odoo view, and you can pick different measures that you would want to look at and how many the count for that. Again, you can do groupings here, whether tag or customer, and do some sort of a grouping. So here you could see who's putting in the most tickets, and it's just me here, but you could make that some sort of a view with that. All right. You also have charts that you can do. Again, you have all the standard filtering and grouping that Odoo can do, plus some measurements that they have, so you can see how many working hours into the SLA deadline, watch the SLAs of the items coming in as well. All right. One other aspect that's helpful for Odoo, I think, versus other systems is, since it's a full ERP, you can integrate with other providers. So there's a way in the settings you can come in here and go and do the SSO login. We probably will have to install an app to make that work. But there's availability to do integration with whether Microsoft or Google. You can set up the SSO and be able to log in with your customers, or your users rather, with a standardized system. And there's a variety of other modules that likely could be useful. There's timesheets, way to do expenses with the receipts automatically, handling time off, an employee database, job descriptions, and the knowledge is especially a useful one, I think. Just inline wiki with the whole ERP, it hooks them all together there. So Odoo hosting, how that works, there's a few options there. You can do online cloud hosting with Odoo, which is what I did here just to show this off. And there's paid modules with Odoo, and that comes once you pay the per user fee. That comes as part of it. There is also a open source route, which is able to host on your own and doesn't actually have a per user fee, but you lose out on some of these enterprise modules, some of the crispness and cleanness and support too, obviously, with Odoo. And then there is also a self-hosted paid modules where you can be paying the per user price, but then host it on your own equipment. So if there's any restrictions based off of locality or even just control, you can host this inside of a Docker container on a Linux machine and it's not too bad to spin up and run that way as well. So there's lots of options. Odoo doesn't lock you in. They give you the database, and you can do what you want with that database. And you can even, once you get into self-hosting, you can write your own modules and interact with existing data and just add on. And it's just, you add in your code, and then you just come in the App Store here, and you just do an install, and the database migrations happen, and it installs what you need to make that all work. So this was a quick look at how Odoo Helpdesk could be utilized, specifically thinking about a use case for a school district and how it might interact with the employees for submitting tickets and how that could potentially be set up.